Are you ready for this sickness? 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 Let's get into it. Hello, sickos. This is the greatest day of my life. Okay? And it's not because I have an exclusive cover. It has nothing to do with it. A year and 9 months of doing ridiculous comic book stuff, trying to help you guys. It's come to this, dude. And look, I'm telling you guys right now, I've talked to a lot of people. I've met a lot of people. I've done a lot of things. This to me is the special day for me. So as ridiculous as that might sound to some of you, I don't care. This is my moment, my probably happiest moment of my YouTube life, as well as comic book world thing, doodads, whatever. Dude, Floppy Cop. Dude, we got Dan Dougherty here tonight, today, this afternoon. He's also writing Touching Evil, 2 totally different scripts. But this was my 2019 pick of the year. A lot of you are all like, what? I showed you like my top 20 key books of the year, most important books. And then I did my pick of the year, and it was Floppy Cop. So I hope you guys read it. This book is insane. Without further ado, guys, let me just say hi to some people in here. Hi, everybody. That's all I'm going to say today, because I want to get right to this. Dude, this is crazy. I've got Jason from Exchange Collectibles and the one and only Dan Dougherty. He's here. This is the most special day for me ever. Dan thinks it's ridiculous too, and I expect him to, just because when you get all lovey-dovey over an artist or writer, they go, what? And I think it's even more ridiculous for a writer. But you are both, which is even crazier. You're multi-talented, and most people don't have. They go with one or the other. You know what I mean? I mean, let's see. Look at him. He's like,
I'm just blushing over here. Just straight up blushing. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so excited. I had Dan in there a minute ago, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to you until it starts. I want it to be fresh, and we're already starting to go. I'm like, no, we got to stop. He had to put the hooker away. He had to do his bread. He had to get everything ready.
She died pretty quickly. It was an easy.
You're doing something right. You're doing something right. So okay, so let's just go straight to it, and then I'm going to talk to you, Dan, most of the time. So we got Jason from Exchange Collectibles. Okay, this book is live. Jason, I'm going to go ahead and show it on my screen really fast.
Nice.
Okay, guys, it's live right now. Okay, what's so special? It's exchangecollectibles.com. You can use code ECON and get 10% off. It is a reprint variant exclusive of Floppy Cop #1. Okay, so the red raw copy is limited to 100, and the gray, which is an interesting black and white with the orange hat, economics hat on Floppy Cop, is limited to 69, and you know it would only be limited to 69. So there's also, which Jason shocked me, he gave you a couple CGC options. Those are going to sell out really fast. You can use code ECON and get 10% off. But wait, there's more. Let me stop sharing this. One person who orders is going to win what, Jason?
We got limited to 3 metal covers of Floppy Cop. All right. And I'm getting one, Bill's getting one, and one of you guys is going to get one. And these things are incredible. I mean, the Source Point metal covers are second to none. I mean, this thing is just beautiful.
That is so sick. I need a towel. That's how sick that is. I'm so excited. Dan's upset because he's not going to get one.
I'm really bummed out about this.
Sorry, Dan. We should have looked forward.
Nobody told me.
We should have thought a little ahead.
We should have thought of making 4 of them, but
well, I don't know what we can do. We'll get Dan a copy at least of the book, I'm sure.
yeah.
I'm going to let this kind of scroll just for a couple minutes. So look, before I start really digging in with Dan, for about a year now, Jason, we've been together, you and I.
Yeah, I think we're almost like it probably. Yeah, I think it's right about a year. I think it was like April when we first started doing stuff. It's crazy, man. It seems like it's been longer. Time is just flying by.
So we've been doing a lot of exclusives with special artist covers, new number ones from low print or publishers, or smaller publishers. I wouldn't really consider Source Point that small, but compared to DC and Marvel,
Yeah.
But we've done a lot of Source Point, and we did the Touching Evil that Dan, you're also doing the art for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not only
this is one of my personal favorite books, guys.
The read is incredible, and it's such
it's just amazing.
It's totally different than this, but it's more serious and very interesting. But I just want to say that you guys, if you're not on top of it, Exchange Collectibles, that's what she said, then you're missing out on super low print exclusives that have to do with different publishers. And a lot of these books are getting picked up. I personally think Touching Evil might get picked up. I don't know.
We got to start a petition, man.
But
we need Touching Evil on Netflix or something, man. I mean, it's just too good of a story.
Yeah, I could definitely see it getting there. Now, if I have any mic, if I sound weird, let me know, because my mic was getting weird the other day in another interview. Let me know immediately so I can try to fix it. But you guys sound good. But yeah, like I'm saying, you take advantage of the partnership that I have with the Exchange. Whether you get this, this is not the exclusive, but whether you get the exclusive or not, pick the book up. It is absolutely hilarious. And we'll get into that more. And check out Touching Evil, because it's such a great read. And yeah, you can use code Econ anytime you want at Exchange Collectibles. Okay. So I don't know where to begin. I'm really do you want to show the regular covers real quick, Jason? Then I'll
yeah, absolutely. So this is the limited to 100.
And just so you know, I've been talking. That's this limited to 69.
Yep, 69.
I've been talking to Dan here and there. I did a video where I read number 2 or something. Like,
I remember that. Yeah,
quietly and laughing. Like all I did was laugh. Like, I just filmed myself reading it out loud to show you how funny that was, dude. Like, and I got to the end and I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't stop laughing. So I don't know where I was going with that. But it's just,
this whole thing, man.
It's funny. So I've been talking to Dan. Oh, I know where I was going. So I was talking to Dan. I love your book. He's like, great. Can I put you on he has this thing called Floppy Fridays at their work or something. They do like, they share stuff. And, so it got to the point where, like, me and Jason were talking, because here's the deal. A lot of people are doing exclusive variants, okay, and claiming they've been doing exclusive variants first and all this stuff. But the truth is, Jason has been doing exclusive variants for well over a year. So if you want to talk about YouTubers doing exclusive variants, he has another channel called Comic Crypto Stock. He's the very first, okay? But this book is actual, which is ridiculous enough, the first ever true YouTuber exclusive. Yes, YouTubers do exclusives, but it's the hat, the actual hat. You can see it right there.
The hat, it's
is in it,
and we've got we've got his logo there on the back. And actually, Chin's was the first to have the logo. Let me see if I can get that to.
Which is fine, but I'm so excited enough to have my little logo on there. But it's an actual real comic that, it's just weird. It's so weird and it's so exciting, but that's not why I'm so excited. But I just wanted to say, guys, if you aren't already doing Exchange Collectibles, you're missing out on some great reads and really cool variant low print exclusives. It's just that simple. Right, Jason?
Absolutely.
So, anyway, now, the reason why I'm so excited is because I'm talking to Dan. Okay, I love you, Jason, but and I should be more excited about the variant itself, but I'm not. The truth is, look, I read comics because I almost like I have to. There's books that I read no matter what. But it's like part of the job, and like it's a job kind of thing. But dude, I initially spec'd on this book because of the cover. I said, okay, that looks funny and that looks pure underground. That's the first thing I thought. That's an underground looking cover. Is that what you were going for with this? I know you didn't do this art, but was that what you were going for when you did it, Dan?
No. It wasn't. When I told Jay Fosgate, who did the cover art does the cover art for all of the comics, when I told him we needed a cover, before I could even tell him any ideas, he just whipped one up. Like Jay's one of the fastest artists I've ever met, and also he has a very funny motto. It's "I'm Jay Fosgate and I do what I want."
That's definitely my motto on my channel.
Yeah, he's every cover. I'm trying to think of it. The only cover that I gave him any direction on was the third one and the fifth one. And then a little bit of the fourth, just because we were talking about how much we both love Bloom County, and he loves doing these homage covers. And he just went, when I said Bloom Counties, I was spitballing. He goes, okay, that's it. You're done. That's what I'm doing. And you don't get to tell me anything else. That's how Jay was working on this. He's just like, that's what I want to do. So when he did the R. Crumb cover for the first one, and I saw that, he actually said something about how he wanted to do it over or do a different one. And I'm like, don't, this is great. Like,
so this is a Crumb homage?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I was right. I was right then. That's pure underground.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we're all, wait till you see the cover for the new issue that comes out. Okay. It's also,
wait.
I won't tell you.
We're getting there because I want to ask you a question. I'm going to have you ask you both a question in a second about the next run. Okay. So I initially bought it because I'm like, okay, that looks funny. They're going for the underground feel. Undergrounds are great. And I started reading it, and I'm like, okay, this is funny, And then Floppy Cop comes through a damn window in his cop car. And then, I mean, dude, this is the first time you see Floppy. His head is almost hitting the ground, okay? So if you don't already know, he doesn't have a spine, okay? And everyone, oh, here he is, dude. This is the first full appearance of Floppy right there, dude.
That's
okay?
amazing.
So then I start reading it, and, you get to the villains. And there's like a chicken. There's a mime. There's an invisible person. There's and then there's more, but it gets to Muggsy Bogues, dude. Muggsy Bogues was a villain, and he's like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "Well, my name, it sounds very criminal or whatever."
It's a great villain name. It's not his fault.
Kept going. And the mime, dude, it's so funny, dude. And then here's my point. My point of this whole thing is this. It's the only book, and I'm not shitting you guys on YouTube. You guys might think I'm crazy. I don't care. The only book that I could not wait to read.
Wow.
And dude, we're talking Null, we're talking Venom, we're talking all these books that have big keys that I'm like waiting to see speculation wise, what's big, what's not, the story, nothing. Even now, after what I've been reading, besides Touching Evil is pretty interesting, but it's a different type of interesting, a different type of writing. I could not wait to get my hands on the book, and they weren't easy to get. They're low print, low ordered books. I mean, at the store, if I had to order it just to get it in my comic book store. Mm-hmm. So some stores, they order a lot of everything, but some stores are much more careful. So I couldn't wait till it came in. And another thing is, you guys, dude, the sniff test on these books, dude, they smell so good. The paper's so good. I could just sniff it.
I wrote that smell. That was just the writing.
That's a brilliant mind.
It's so good.
But all right. Okay. Another quick thing is, normally Dan doesn't do covers, and he asked me, "Who do you want me to do the cover?" And I told him, "I want you to do it." So not only is it special that he wrote it, he did the cover below. He did the Spider-Man 300 homage. So not only that, he did the cover, which is special in its own right.
It was fun. It was one of the few times I've ever actually drawn Floppy Cop. I from the start, when Seth and I started working on the book, at one point when he started sketching, he goes, "Hey, do you want to send me some visuals of what you think these characters are like?" I said, "Absolutely not. I want to see only what you would do with this." And so like the design and everything of Floppy Cop is all Seth, and it's just awesome. But I haven't really, I've only drawn him a few times. And actually the one time you can really see me draw him besides this cover is in the trade where you do the little flip book at the bottom. I drew that little animation. Other than that, I have never really drawn him, and I sure haven't drawn him on a cover. So that's definitely my first.
Well, you killed it. I mean, it's absolutely hilarious. Dude, it's a Spider-Man 300 homage, and it's just backwards, dude. Legs are coming up over his head.
Yeah, that's great.
And so we got on the cover, it says 2019 Sickness Award, because I did give it my favorite comic of the year. So we put it on there. He used the 6 in his own way for the background, which Chin initially did. Chin Potter is one of my friends who created my channel image, which is this. It'll probably be small, but it's right there on the top corner. It's very similar. And then you put the couple of main characters, his partner, and the other cop that's basically in a coma the entire series and loves pretzels. So that's what we call the pretzels in the back. And he's always having these funny dreams of like a pretzel soap opera when he's in his coma. It's so funny, dude. Like a pretzel is cheating on another pretzel with the not pretzel or the straight pretzel.
Right. Yeah.
It's so funny, dude. You guys don't understand how brilliant it is. And that's the point. That's my point. This stuff is brilliant. And that's why I'm so excited about talking to Dan, because he went from this absolutely pull you out of your head and let you dive into something and forget about everything else. And then he went into doing Touching Evil. Now, Dan, you already wrote Touching Evil a couple years back, right? I did some research, and you'd already privately did that without SourcePoint. How does that work? I don't.
It's really tough, actually, which is why SourcePoint is super helpful. I started doing Touching Evil, I mean, it was at least 5 years ago, and I was just doing it as a creator-owned, very indie comic that I did. It took me about 2 years to get the first story arc done. And then I kickstarted a volume of it, the hardcover volume. Did a second run of like a 8 through 14 run, and then kickstarted that. And I was just getting overwhelmed with how tough it is to do all this stuff by myself, basically. The only assistance I had on the book at the time, and even now, is art-wise, was colorists. I had a colorist, and I had a guy who for a while was doing cover art for me, but everything else was me. And so when SourcePoint kind of really started becoming a big name in the community, and I kept seeing him at shows. You know, we just started talking and saying like, hey, look, you know, this could benefit both of us. Because Touching Evil is such a fit for their brand. I mean, they typically do like horror or sci-fi or supernatural thriller kind of stuff. And I'm like, it checks a lot of those boxes. So once they kicked in and they actually started doing this with me, it was kind of like, it was new to a lot of people. You know, I had a whole bunch of content. I still do. They're only on issue 8 right now, soliciting. But I mean, I'm already done with 14 of them, and I'm working on 15 through 21 right now. So it's what's been allowing us to operate so smoothly is the content's all there. Usually, like with an indie book, it's hard to keep. You know,
you're ahead of the game right now.
Oh yeah, I'm still like I got a big lead on them, and that's a rare thing. Whereas with Floppy Cop, we started with only one issue that we debuted at Motor City 2 years ago. And
is there an exclusive?
What's that?
Was there a Motor City exclusive, or is it the same book?
It was if you find the one that we did at Motor City, I wonder if I have a copy of it. I could probably look up there in a second, but the thing that would distinguish it is that it's got my Beardo Comics logo where the Source Point logo would be. So if you see that, that's from the first 2 months worth of books that we made. I think we made like, and Motor City was awesome. Like it was like the perfect storm. It was all 4 creators were at the show. Me, Seth DeMoose, Jay Fosgett, and Milena Deneno, we were all tabling. So it was like this treasure map of going around the Motor City Artist Alley and getting it signed by everybody. And then Source Point was also at the show, and they were like, what the hell is this book that I keep seeing? And we pitched it to them, and they went, okay. It really went not against the grain, but it's definitely an odd duck kind of book for Source Point at the time. They didn't have a whole lot of humor. Now they have a lot more options. Was it Sham? That comic is really funny. They had done Jay Fosgett's Dead Duck book a while back, but that was a little bit older material. But yeah, so we were kind of this weird, we stuck out on their table because everything else was a lot more in the Touching Evil vein, and this is just, it's Floppy Cop. It's so bizarre.
Let me stop you for a second because there's a lot of chatter in the chat. I'll get to your questions in a minute, but here's the truth of the answers that you guys need. Look, it's impossible for me to sign these books right now. So if you get it graded, it won't be signed. Look, they're going to sell out. I know that for a fact. Too many people have asked me already about it. They will sell out. If you want to get a copy, get a raw copy. We can figure out, maybe you can send it to me. I'll sign it. Dan's in Chicago. I mean, a signing escapade would be pretty insane, but I can tell you that what can we do? The corona's going on right now. We live far away. Then it would be very difficult for me to sign everything, especially with witnessing. If you wanted that option, I can sign it later for you guys if you want. We can figure something out. But if you want the book, you need to get it now because it will sell out. Sorry if that upsets anybody. This is it's just how it works right now. So, but you know, whatever. Okay, back to the. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah. No, it's really interesting this time right now we're living in, right? Like it's unprecedented, and
I'm sure it's worse than most places.
In Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it seems from what I'm seeing on the news, I mean, because I'm certainly staying inside, but it certainly seems like there's just a lot of cases in the area. But I think what's cool about our area, not to get too much on this topic, but our mayor is kind of becoming a viral sensation because she's got a very like serious look and is like, stay inside. Her name's Lori Lightfoot. And then now everyone's taking her face or her image and they're putting it in all these places like of her, like basically holding like a ruler, like a nun, and being like, you get back inside the house right now. Yeah, we're definitely still on lockdown for the month, if not longer. So it's just wild. I don't know.
Yeah, it's stupid. I'm so sick of it already. But anyway,
yeah,
stay at home. But I mean, I like to go out.
It's nice the choice, right? The option. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's like I don't even want to go there. I'm trying to escape that. Now.
Let's talk about fun stuff.
Yeah. Let me ask you about this. Okay. Now I have you both here. So you said you're coming out with Floppy Cop season 2, or what is it?
Yeah. I'll reveal the title of it right here if you want. Is that cool? Okay. So we talked about, do we continue on with, a 6 through 10, or do we just make it another season essentially, so people know that like it's a new story arc? It's got that number 1 option, obviously, for the small press people. That's important. Talked a lot with Travis at SourcePoint about that, and he was like, "Yeah, I think let's do like a new number 1, and we'll do like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of this." So the new title is Floppy Cop 2: Body Issues. So it's body issues 1 through 5 that you'll get. And it's the big theme throughout the book, and nobody knows body issues better than Floppy Cop because he's missing a big chunk of his spine. So yeah, we're working on it right now. We're actually into the 3rd issue of it right now.
When does it come out? The first one?
Good question. So it was supposed to have an exclusive Motor City Comic Con release because we were celebrating the 2-year anniversary of when it debuted at that show. And then Motor City just got postponed because of all the nonsense going on. And I don't even know if they picked a date yet for Motor City. But the original date was supposed to be May 15th. And we have issue 1 done. And we even have the cover for it and everything. Everything's all locked and loaded. But we don't know how to put it out there. So we're coming up with some ideas. There's this talk of there being a virtual con that weekend that would be hosted by some people who would have been at the show, and that we would do like Zoom chats, or I don't know, whatever they're going to arrange for that.
If you guys want me to help with that, I'm more than happy to do it. Yeah. I did Coffin Comic Con like 3 weeks ago, and that was amazing. But I would love to help somehow with the channel. We could do something like this with a bunch of different people. Okay, here's my question. And okay, so you're doing Floppy Cop Part 2, basically starting at number 1. Jason and Dan, I'm asking you right now. I'm a sicko, and I always say CX. Okay, CX 6. So season 2, number 1 will actually be Legacy number 6.
Okay.
Legacy number 6.
Can we do another type of homage? You and me will figure it out, Dan.
Okay.
A homage cover, and we'll call it Legacy number 6, because that would make perfect sense for the channel, and it would be fun to have another exclusive with you, and we could do a funny parody homage, and it could be Legacy number 6 for the sickos.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that something that we can work out between you guys?
I'm down. I'm down for anything. I
like it.
Yeah. Where am I going?
So I'll brainstorm. I'll try to figure out a cool homage, because I love the homages, but with the floppy feel, I don't know yet. We'll go there, but I'm so excited about that because it's number 6. It would be, So I wanted to do. So did you go to school for writing, or what's your background? I don't know much about you, Dan.
I didn't go to school for writing, although I took some writing classes when I was in my couple early years of college. No, I got my bachelor's degree in art. It was, I think they called it fine arts with a focus on illustration or something, but that was at UIC, University of Illinois Chicago, and that was 2003. So it's been a while, but I've always loved storytelling, and I've gotten better at it over the years by reading more comics and just watching shows I love and really kind of writing down why I like the show or what I thought were the plot points. Like I haven't had like formal education in it, but I've read up a lot about it and tried to do it because I realized like a couple years into trying to be a comic illustrator that as I was seeing other people's stuff that they were like, I was getting work early on, like with writers and books that either came out or didn't come out. And I sort of realizing like, I was like, oh man, I want to tell this story, but I want to tell it this other way. Or like, you know, I would think about projects that I wish I would do, or, you know, one day I'll do this thing, and kept thinking, well, why don't I? Like, you know, I'm already drawing a bunch of stuff, and I got that itch to actually tell stories, so why don't I scratch it? And what helped me the most was, I think my best writing training was doing my comic strip Beardo, because I had to do it 6 days a week. I just had to come up with 6 ideas a week, and they all had to be able to be fit in a comic strip, not a whole comic. And so it really was like trial by fire of figuring out how to be a better writer. And I think that helped me a lot with everything else I did. So to answer your question, it's sort of a little bit self-education, but I did get my formal background in art in college.
So for now, I'm just whatever, you know, I'm not a writer or anything. I can't draw. But I'm like I consider myself an idea person. Like someone could ask me, what do you see here or whatever, and I could give someone a really good idea, and they could like make a lot of money on it, or fix their life, or organize something differently. I can see like other people's issues, kind of like I'm a you know, like you go get golf lessons, and from a professional, but I'm not a professional. I can look at your swing and tell you what's wrong, and it works. It's really weird, but I've had ideas of stories in my mind a long time, and I have this type of writing block where I have a story that I want to do. It's about a sword and some weird things. It's very interesting, but my problem was, and I think maybe why you have it might be easier for you to write or anything. Well, you're very talented, don't get me wrong, but is that I have an idea in the head, like a movie script, okay? And then I want to, so what I did was I created like panels, and I would pull images off the internet and put them in the panels. It was very painful because I wasn't able to actually sketch like a little dude, which would have saved me a million. I'm sure maybe you do that. You have an idea and then you kind of jot down. Do you sketch something? I can't do that. So it like crushes me, but I've always wanted to. I have stories to tell, you know, and I know they'll be good, but I don't know how to get it out. It's very difficult. I've attempted it, and it's too much. I don't know. I wish I could do it. I don't know why I'm even talking about it, but Wolf Warner's in here. I know he reads Floppy Cop because whenever I said Floppy Cop, Wolf Warner said, I love Floppy Cop. So he's reading this too, I know for sure. I don't know how many people in the chat are actually reading Floppy Cop or did, but if you haven't already, I really suggest. Is there a trade?
Yeah, there's a trade. It looks like the first issue, but thicker. it's this. So
yeah, you just get a trade too. I have them all, but it'd be great to have the trade.
Yeah, the trade's fun. We did some fun stuff with it just to make it, you know, the most bang for people's buck, because we knew that like this book sort of, it had a slow burn to get an audience, right? Like what you said before, like Source Point, they're a bigger company as far as like the level that they're at of comic publishers. But they're not like, you know, Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, Image. They're sort of in this climbing position right now.
They got good books.
They make a lot of great books. I mean, we're just. I mean, I only have, you know, 2 of the many things that they've got out there. And for them, like they looked at Floppy Cop and they were like, "This is such a weird ass book, man. I don't know if our people are going to read this." But what we did to, you know, really push it was what they do best is they hit the pavement. So, you know, they do, I don't know how many shows a year, And up until all this nonsense, which, we won't even talk about that, but like the past year or so, they've been pounding the pavement all over the country and even in other countries to build it up. So like it started gaining momentum, maybe around like issue 3 or 4, and it was by that time we were almost through the series, the story arc, the first arc. So yeah, a lot of shops were figuring it out after it was already out there for a bit, and then so with the trade, it was kind of for our loyal, like our hardcore followers, to have some extra stuff if they actually wanted to buy that on top of the individual issues, because Seth is a madman. And I said, hey, let's put a little backup story in the back. And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, a friend of ours, Derek Becker, he goes, hey, you should do, because you guys are both good at writing and drawing, and you have both of those skill sets. What if you turned it all on its head and you had Seth draw it with no script, a bonus story, and then Dan had to figure out how to write to that after you already drew it? So it was this crazy improv game we did, and I was like, okay, yeah, maybe just like a 4-pager, right?
That's in the trade?
It's in the trade, yeah.
Cool.
It's not 4 pages. Seth turned in 16 pages of this thing. It's almost a full issue in the back. I'm like, you're insane, man. Like, and so we did it. I mean, I wrote to it. It has some really stupid stuff in it. I mean, there's a car that there's a police car that treats everyone who walks into it like a sexual encounter. Yeah, get in me.
Yeah, get in me.
There's
Oh
there's
my God.
an old abandoned gynecology museum that is the scene for this big new criminal that Seth made up, and I had to come up with a name for. So I named it after all these gynecological instruments. I won't tell you what, you have to see it for yourself. And then other cool
gynecologist out here who's really my dad's a retired surgeon, but there's a gynecologist out here, and his name is Dr. Seaman. It's so funny. I feel like Jason's frozen, dude. Jason, are you alive? Okay.
Dude, my audio is so bad. It's like I have to like seriously concentrate to make out what's being said. It sucks, dude. It's like every time we go live, it just gets shitty. I don't know. It happened last time with Zoo too, but
you need to buy a mic, dude, or just go straight off the computer, because those little things really kill it.
No, it's well, I mean, I guess I could try just turning it off. That could be it. Let me see.
Okay. Hello? How's that? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as loud, but can you?
Oh, I can still hear you.
It says your mic's muted, Jason. But you said you were going to give some Well, wait till Jason. This is totally going to be in your comic right here.
This moment, figuring out the camera.
That's what's so funny about the comic, dude, is because it's.
I can't hear Jason here. Unmute.
It's him. He did it himself.
Got it. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. That didn't seem to work.
Okay, you're fine. So let's talk. What's so genius about this book? And we could talk about all your books, but is that it rides that line, like,
yeah,
like how I don't want to really bring out say social justice warriors, but it's like it dips in it a little bit, and then it comes out, and then it goes. You're touching on things like there's a scene where they're at the bar. I think it's a number 2.
And 2, yeah.
And she's like, I can't believe what she said, or she said something. What was it that she said that was really funny? That Floppy Cop and the bartender are like looking at her, and then it goes back to her and says it again, and then they're looking at her and they're not talking. It's so funny, dude.
Yeah, it's they're solving that crossword puzzle, and she says something. I don't know if I should say the whole thing, but
say whatever you want, dude.
Okay. Yeah. So the clue. What was it?
I think that's why it's my favorite one.
It's about. What was it? Okay. She figured out the clue. It was a sloppy sailor, right? Or it was a sailor. Where is it?
Sloppy sailor.
Yeah. So it's so she figures out that another word for sailor is seaman, and then she realizes that sloppy seaman, it also sounds like the name of their town, which is White Trickle Falls. So White Trickle Falls has so many different things that I've been playing with because it sounds like seaman, but its initials are WTF. So like it has WTF all over it, all over town, but it's White Trickle Falls. And so when she says all this ridiculous stuff, she says semen like several times. Like I told Seth, like, dude, no, I want you to have her like over and over again pound this semen into the viewer.
And they keep looking back and forth. They look back at Floppy and the bartender or whoever's there, and they're like trying to keep a straight face, right? And then she says it again, and it goes back to that. Dude, it's so funny. And then, like, just at the end of number one, I mean, there's a lot of funny things in here. You said there was something you wanted to tell me as a secret, and I told you to wait. But at the end of number one, in the middle, they kind of show all the bad guys. And so one of them is, where is he? And I'm not, there's a chicken, and the mime is absolutely hilarious, okay? Even though he doesn't say a single word. But Muggsy Bogues is in there, right? And it's like, why are you in here? So my name's a cool criminal name, or something like that.
Yeah.
And what were you going to say about that?
We've been all very, but of course, with everything that SourcePoint's doing, they're always trying to actively shop out everything that they have that could be a potential intellectual property somewhere else, right? And so we were like kind of worried about Muggsy Bogues being actually in the thing because he's a real person. And I was like, we should probably reach out to their people and just see if they're cool with this. Like if this ever became anything big or anything else. And so we reached out to Muggsy Bogues because a friend of mine was able to find his agent. And it was super awkward at first because I'm like, what if he doesn't like this? Like, what if he's like, I don't want to be in this comic.
Yeah, I don't want to be a criminal.
I made him a criminal, and then like there's other like crazy jokes in there that are like all over the place.
He's like popping basketballs and shit. It's so funny.
Yeah, well, his crime that he commits, I looked up his stats because I remember I'm a kid who grew up like the '90s basketball era was like my era, like and I'm from Chicago, so the Bulls, we were just crushing everybody all through the '90s.
Yeah.
And I always thought Muggsy Bogues was really awesome. Yeah. Even then, I thought this is basically a joke that's like 20 years in the making because I'm like, he's got the coolest name ever. And so I looked up his stats, and he had 1.5 steals per game, which was perfect for a joke because basically once he breaks out of prison, he's going to games and he's stealing one whole ball, and then he cuts the other ball in half. He leaves the other half.
That's why, dude. That's why he cuts it in half. Okay.
Stuff like that kills me. Like that joke wrote itself the second I looked at his stats. I'm like, yep, he's stealing a ball and a half every time he goes to a game. So we did reach out to him, and we talked to, I believe it's his daughter, who's his one of his agents, and we sent the pages of him in it, and then we sent the full thing. We had all 5 issues at that point, and they dug it. They thought it was cool. They were fine with it. They thought it was really funny, and they enjoyed it. I was worried that he would take it the wrong way, that I made him a criminal, but like it all panned out really nice. So yeah, I got a little Muggsy Bogues story, I think.
That'd be cool to have a signed part, signed by Muggsy, because I'm the same way. I was doing basketball the 80s and 90s, and I watched you guys destroy my Suns in person in the finals multiple times.
Had to do it.
It was hard not to love the guy, but I was a Suns fan. But anyway, yeah, like your second one is I can't right now. My mind's going blank. But what was the chameleon? Is it a girl or is it a guy?
It's actually a guy, but it's very much a tip of the hat to Culture Club and Boy George, you know. So
Oh,
so Boy George always was sort of androgynous, and that's sort of what Coma Chameleon is too. I just wanted to say
okay.
Coma.
So much in it I didn't pull out. Like,
There's a lot of layers to that really dumb joke.
yeah, the Coma Chameleon song, but it's Coma Chameleon.
Yeah, and he slips in and out of the coma, so it comes and goes. It comes and goes.
Dude, this is why this is my favorite book. I had no idea. Like, so Coma Chameleon bit into an ice cream cone, and it had an invisible chameleon on it, right?
A radioactive invisible
Like
just like Spider-Man, but he bit the chameleon instead of the spider biting him.
I'm gonna have a heart attack right now, dude.
So
Jesus, it's so funny, dude. It's so funny.
well, my favorite part is that so for a brief moment, he's like, I have these powers now. He can see into people's minds and make himself invisible to them.
Yeah.
So he's like, I can do anything with this. And then like he slips on the very chameleon that he just took a bite out of.
Because he couldn't see it.
He couldn't see it. It was hard to see. He just hits the ground, goes into a coma, and he becomes Coma Chameleon from then on in.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. They go interview him. Dude, whatever. I swear to God, that's my favorite issue. I can't help it. Number 2 is so funny, dude. Oh my God, I got to read it all over again just to enjoy it again. But there's a part when they all escape and like, I'm sorry, I forget all the names, but
no, there's a lot of characters.
His partner, what's her name?
Carmen Crimson. That's his partner.
She's chasing it. She's almost got the bandit or whatever, and she trips over Coma Chameleon because he's invisible. He escaped, but he had a coma on the way out and passed out on the floor. And so it's so damn funny, dude.
Yeah, people think it's a big part of Floppy Cop. There's a lot of people.
It's my favorite book of all time, dude. I swear to God. And now that I know, like, I didn't, when you're reading it, you're not thinking about like Boy George and different things like that, But now that you say it, it makes it so much funnier to me because you kind of see Chameleon on cover 2, right? In the gurney.
Yeah, really hot minute. Yeah, you just
swear it was a girl.
Boy George. I mean, that's his. He had the hair. He had the big hat, the makeup. Like he was very, very much androgynous throughout that whole era. But yeah, there he is. That's Jay briefly drawing him.
Yeah, you could see it better. Yeah. So the whole series 2 is already written, or?
Yeah, basically. I mean, I'm actually so the whole the plot is all written. I'm now scripting into issue 3 of it because here's some other fun news. Seth, the co-creator and illustrator for the whole run, just turned in the last page of issue 2 today. Like I saw it maybe about 20 minutes before I got on this chat with you guys, and it's really fun. It's like one of my favorite last pages of an issue that we've done so far, because it's always that page where like something's about to happen, and it's that big moment of like you get to tell one last gag before the issue's up, and it's so fun seeing him bring these ideas to life because we talk about it. Like, I mean, I'm mostly doing the story, but like I don't want to just monopolize it because Seth's funny as hell. Like Seth is a funny dude. I feel like he should always be drawing something that's a funny comic because his style is just so good for it. But I'll be like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Idea wise. And when we got to the end of this issue, I had this one thing I wanted to do, and he's like, oh yeah, that'll be fun. And I'm like, okay, but you better draw the hell out of this because I want to really see this pop. And so he turned it in today, and it was just like, it's like my birthday every time I get a page from him. It's awesome.
That's how I felt like when I got the book, though. And I'm trying to overhype this, guys. Maybe it's just me. Like maybe this is my humor or type or whatever, but like it builds. The stories build. Like when everyone escaped and like the chicken and the mime and the it gets to like the two guys that are like adopting kids and then like or whatever they're doing. It's like a whole other storyline, which is really funny. But like you get to the end and you're like waiting for that final punchline. That's how I felt every time.
Mm-hmm.
And it would build, and then it was like, oh my God, it is so hilarious. You would get hit one more time. And that's why I love this book, man. I mean, I just love it. Now, is there any villain maybe in the new one, or maybe in potential Mr. Sick or anything of that nature? And any little hidden things? And
I did talk to Seth. We are going to see if we can maybe have a little quick cameo with a certain hat and a certain person wearing that hat.
Oh, that would be so. You have no idea, dude. I would probably be good after that. I think my life would be complete after that happened.
Yeah, no, we were. I mean, honestly, man, I really the fact that you said that it was, I got the 2019 Sickness Award.
Dude, people were like, when I did that, because they expect. There's a certain thing in regard to speculation that they expect from me,
mm-hmm.
and they expect every year that I give my top 20 books, and I try to do like more in relation to value, like a big appearance or something like that. And there's only a couple a year. Then you got to really improvise. Like I missed Walking Dead, the last book. And I was like, how did I miss that book? Because it was the last final issue, and all these things. And then I'm like, okay, well, they're gonna want my pick. And I picked Floppy Cop. Dude, people were so confused. Like they were so confused. But if they read it, they would understand why it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not a big key factor, except it's a first appearance type of thing. But the best book I enjoy. I can't wait for season 2. I can't wait for season 2. And I'm so excited to have this. As me and Jason have been talking about this for months. And Dan, I've been talking to you for a couple months about this too. I'm excited for this to be the book. Because it means so much to me is why I'm so excited. We could have picked multiple different books to go with, but it had to be this book. It had to be because this book has really meant the most to me. Even till today. I mean, just learning more stuff about it is special to me. Like, learning about Boy George. It's just fun.
Yeah, I just gotta say, man, I really appreciate that, Bill. It's like this is still a underdog kind of book that's slowly getting that word of mouth kind of buzz about it. And when you go and do something like making it the 2019 top pick, I mean, that's like huge for us because there's so many good comics out there right now, and there's also a lot of stuff that's I don't really think is all that great. Like there's stuff I don't. Yeah, I mean, the reality is there's just a lot of content in general, so it's hard to really be to get your signal heard or boosted without other people doing that too. Like we can only do so much. SourcePoint, as big as their reach is, can still only do what they are capable of, and the rest of it depends on like YouTube reviews and shop owners taking a chance on a new book and readers taking a chance on a new book, going to something unfamiliar. So that's how this book so far has succeeded. I mean, it's definitely not a household name at this point, but it's cool when, I hear somebody read it or I get orders or the SourcePoint tells me that, something good is happening with the book. I'm like, that means that it's actually like, it's spreading because of stuff like what you're doing. So, I mean, I really appreciate that.
Chad Pearson says, I love this book. I'm a cop and this shit cracks me up.
Awesome.
The pretzels are on the cover. Like, it's his partner loves pretzels. And he gets, there's like a murder scene, even though he's like in a coma or something. But on the last page, dude, it's an outline of the pretzel, dude.
Well, the pretzel didn't make it.
It's so funny, dude. Oh,
that was the panel that I think I officially convinced Travis at SourcePoint Press to pick up the book when he saw that last one. I think if I remember one of the early conversations right, It was like, dude, I was enjoying the book and it was fun. I'm like, but I don't know where the hell this is going. And then he saw that last panel. He's like, okay, you got me. Like that's funny. Like that, and having Seth draw a pretzel chalk outline like it died. It's just it's like I guess it's like my birthday, like all the time. Like it's so much fun working with the whole team. And it's still fun. Like we're on essentially the 8th issue of it right now, and I'm still having a blast with it.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I mean, that, like I said, and we're not trying to look. There aren't many of this. Yeah, there's a limited print of this variant #1 that we're doing, but honestly, there's probably not a lot of the regular book out there because it was pretty low print initially. Like you said,
yeah,
it didn't pick up to the end. More stores started ordering it. So whether it's valuable or not in the future, it is one hell of a read. And if you want to escape, I mean, I don't think it would cost much to go pick up the trade. How much is a trade? I'm probably going to get one anyway for the extra bonus.
The trade's $20. It collects all 5 issues plus almost another issue with that bonus story that's ridiculous. And it's a flip book. It's a flippy copy of Floppy Cop. You can see it, like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's hard to do.
On the bottom?
Yeah, bottom right.
Oh, that's cool too.
Yeah. So that's the only other time I've ever drawn him. Because I did that.
So this exclusive is pretty rare.
That's exclusive, super rare. Like that's the only time I've ever drawn a cover for him for sure. And it was probably the first time I really gave a solid drawing of him, because that other one was just a little tiny, thing in the corner. But yeah,
it's a 300 homage, which even makes it that much funner.
It's so much fun. I love the idea. Like,
thick ass hat on it too.
What I loved about it too is because you're doing that 300 cover, and that era of Spider-Man was particularly bendy. Like he really was such a impossible character. Like he was like a floppy Spider-Man around that time. Like the way McFarlane drew him. Yeah. I mean, his legs would go like straight up over his head. I'm like, this is perfect to do with Floppy Cop, because
it's so funny because I'm like, what do you think of this? He's like, yeah, and then I'm waiting, and then he shows me the initial pencils, and I'm like, holy shit, that is hilarious because he's all backwards. So whether you guys get this or not, I would love you to get it. This is the first exclusive. Definitely pick up the trade if you can. I'll be getting one just to catch up, because it'll definitely pull you away and bring you into a hilarious world, and as well as Touching Evil. If you guys aren't on Touching Evil already, I would seriously suggest getting on that. It's a great read. I have a couple to catch up on, which is shame on me, but I've been so busy. I have is it 4 and 5 or 3 and 4? I think I read 3. I don't know.
It's only up to, you're not that far behind then. If it's 3.
No, I'm not. But
it's up to, in stores, I think it's up to 5. Trying to look at my little info over here. So yeah, there's a trade coming for that too, actually. Like I think they solicited that last month in previews, although who knows how I have no idea how all that stuff's working right now. But yeah, if you're up to 3 or 4, you're pretty close to what the Source Point version is.
Do you have any other books coming out besides Floppy and yourself, besides Floppy and Touching Evil?
Yeah. There's a couple things. So I just announced a couple days ago, actually, that I'm bringing back my old comic Beardo for one more book. Beardo was the thing that really got me more, like I said before, as considered to be a writer, not just an illustrator, because I did it for 10 years. It was featured in newspapers and online, and I ended it on this big final strip that went viral, and I was like, this is the perfect ending. I love it. I'm done, and people liked it. Hooray. But then I realized, shoot, my son's not in it. And at the time it was just me, my daughter, and my wife. And now that my son Elliot, came into the picture, I'm like, I still got plenty of stuff to talk about in that comic, and I'd love to have him in there for one book. So I'm doing a Patreon for that, where for $2 a month you read 3 brand new strips a week. And it'll be starting. You can sign up now, but it starts tomorrow. The first strip launches tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning Central Standard Time.
So what's your if you want in the comments, you can type in the not private but the other one.
Oh, yeah.
Type in wherever that your Patreon is, or that sounds cool.
Yeah, let me. I didn't know I could actually type in here.
Craig wants to know if you can order the trade straight from SourcePoint. Probably, right?
Yes, actually, yes. So let me just be clear about one thing. I was talking about with Diamond, like how I don't know what they're doing, but you can order everything that SourcePoint does through their website. And I think they even have a thing that they're doing. I could be mistaken on this, but I know they had a promotion going for a while where if you ordered X amount of dollars of stuff, you could they would take 20 or 25% of the sale and they would send it to the comic shop of your choice so that you can keep supporting your local shops. And
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing a lot of really smart and great things to make sure that we all get through this, you know, like because we don't want to lose those shops. We don't want to lose that model. And we
don't fit through Diamond, do you? We got these books. We're getting all our SourcePoint books printed.
You know, that's a question for like Josh, because I don't know exactly how they do everything. I mean, they have a lot of resources at their disposal. I mean, because you know that they're under that whole umbrella where they don't just make comics too. They make like board games and I mean, they made a movie. Like they're doing all kinds of big moves. They have that Franklin and Ghost cartoon that's going to be coming out with Billy Bob in it.
Oh, okay.
If there's any other Billy Bobs out there that I don't know. But yeah, I think they're still making books and they're still shipping them out, and everything on their end is, you know, as much as it can be the same. It's just the Diamond part of it is different, you know. So you can order all their books
this is definitely better. The paper quality is incredible on this. Like Source has some of the best paper in the industry, at least the covers and stuff. So I have a feeling, because I know, I mean, we just received these exclusives the other day, and I don't think, Jason, it's not from Diamond, right?
No, nothing from Diamond is shipping, but a lot of the other independent companies don't have exclusives with Diamond, so they can ship outside of Diamond. The problem with like the bigger publishers is they're all locked into exclusives with Diamond, where Diamond has to handle their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, SourcePoint, Red 5, Scout, all those type of people, Vault, Mad Cave, they all can ship and just bypass Diamond, but the bigger companies can't. So at least, you know, maybe you can start getting some books from those people, you know, and not be without comics completely in this weird time, you know?
Right. That's what you're saying. That all checks out to me, because I've been trying to figure out what's going on myself, and that sounds basically right on point with what Josh would be telling me over at SourcePoint. So yeah, I mean, we got to get through this somehow, and I know people are still making work. It's just figuring it out, you know. Hey, real quick, because I can't actually comment. I don't think I'm looking and I don't see any button or anything to comment.
Yeah, on the top right, it says comments, right?
Oh, there we go. You know what? I just don't have my screen large enough to see that. I had to scroll over.
Or what do you want? You want me to type something?
What's that?
Do you want me to type something for you?
If I can't, then yeah, but let me see if I could just do it.
It'll say comments, and then
click
on that, and then on the bottom, you'll see.
Yeah, I can't do it. Would you be able to? I can see where it is.
Tell me.
Just go to patreon.com and then look up my name. And I should be the top result. There's someone else named like Daniel or Danny or something. But I'm the one that has my Beardo Comics logo on there, so it'll be real easy to see. I'm just seeing these comments for the first time, by the way. This is kind of fun. Just Muggsy Vogues.
Hey, let me see if I can't look it up. So while I'm looking up the Patreon for him, is there anything that Jason or Dan want to talk to the chat or have anything? So let me look it up while you guys are doing that.
Jason, do you have anything? Because I could talk all day. Like,
I'll tell you what. One of my favorite parts in the book is as you start reading through this, there's times where Floppy's head is like completely dropped to the ground, and you have to turn the book upside down to read it.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that before, and it's like, I'd sit there and I'd turn it upside down to read it, and then I'd turn it back and go, oh shit, I have to turn it upside down again. And that was really cracking me up and was definitely something I had never seen anyone do before. So I thought that was freaking awesome. I don't know, man. We got to start a petition.
So
we
he's
need
on
to
the
start
top.
a petition.
Go to Patreon.
Cop on Adult Swim and Touching Evil on Netflix, man. What?
Yeah,
I agree, 100%.
You're speaking my language.
So let me show real quick. So you can see it, right? You can see it on the screen.
Yeah, that's the one.
So then you click this, Dan Dougherty.
Yeah,
and there it is. So $2 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now.
Thank you.
$2 a month. I hope it doesn't show anything of mine, but
oh
shit, it is.
Quickly, everyone, close your eyes.
That'd be great. Okay, so
thank you.
Okay, so I did it. $2 a month. That's cool with me. I got to get an original, like actual piece from you of Floppy Cop because I want to put it up. So this is it. So tomorrow will be your first.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be, he's got 92 patrons. Look, guys, you can also be a sicko too if you want. I have a Patreon as well. Let me close this down.
What are you doing? I'll back yours too. Where's yours?
Oh, I just do $1 or it's just economics and comics. Mine is you can do whatever you want. It's just a way for subscribers to help support me. And then what I do is every month I do a randomizer with everyone that supported me, no matter if they give $1 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I give away either someone wins a shirt and someone wins a comic. I was doing a lot more before, but it got so expensive that for me that I just broke it down. Donate whatever you want is cool, but definitely go support Dan.
I can tell you one other thing I'm doing that I think you would probably like because it's also in the vein of Floppy Cop. Okay. Do you know what 24-hour comic book day is?
Yep.
Where you make with nothing planned, nothing.
All the artists do it. They do it all one day and they do something. Yeah.
Yeah. You have 24 hours to make 24 pages. And so one of my favorite creators came to my school. I teach at a school called International School of Comics. It's in Chicago. And we bring in guests all the time to talk about their craft or to talk about their experience in comics or even to just show how they make stuff. And we've had a bunch of people in, but one of my favorites has been Ryan Brown, who does God Hates Astronauts. And
Ryan Brown?
Ryan Brown, yeah, he does curse words. He does God Hates Astronauts.
Is this the same Ryan Brown that's doing all the covers for Comics Elite?
Maybe. What was the books that he did?
Well, he does a lot now.
He's all over the place.
He's one of the baddest ass artists out there right now.
Is it really fun stuff? Like, is it like?
No. I guess I'll look that up. Go ahead and tell us real fast.
I think there's more than one Ryan Brown. I mean, it's Brown with an E at the end.
No, that ain't him. That's not the right guy.
Okay. Yeah. I had the same problem, by the way. Side note, when I first started doing Touching Evil, I had the cover artist. His name was Stephen Bryant, and everyone thought it was the Stephen Bryant who does Athena Voltaire. And I'm like, it's not that guy. It's a different guy. So apparently, like in the comics community, we like to have multiples of the same name. So anyway, Ryan came in. He told me about his comic. He told the class about his comic. It's called Blast Furnace. It's also one of the funniest comics I've ever read because it's dumb as hell. It's just.
Oh, I know what you're talking. I talk about that all the time on my Blast Furnace. Yeah, I call it Blastosaurus for some reason, but
Yeah, I wonder if I have it on my shelf. No, I think I have it at school. But anyway, so he did that, and then we started doing this class project, and I started doing one called Blasphemy Pants, and it is also dumb as hell. It's Adam from Adam and Eve running with a dinosaur towards the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, let me zoom on you. I want to see.
Yeah, it's really stupid. And this comic is definitely in the spirit of Floppy Cop in that nothing's sacred, everything is stupid, and I'm basically just mainlining dumb jokes into a comic for 24 pages. So I want to do. Here's my goal with this, because it's talking about a whole bunch of taboo stuff and being ridiculous. But my goal is to do 6 issues and then collect it as 7 issues with a blank 7th issue, because that will be the issue where I rested, much like God would have rested on the 7th day. And then you get to draw your own ending into the thing. So that's been my plan since I started this.
That's cool.
I think it's really fun. But if it wasn't for Floppy Cop, I would have never been able to make something like this, because Floppy Cop, man, working with Seth and like we both were just trying to make each other laugh. It reminded me how much I just love making comics. I was getting really kind of like burned out at that point before Floppy Cop. And I was like, I need to laugh, man. So, and Seth was the same way. He's like, I do too. So we just started trying to make each other laugh. And that's how you got Floppy Cop.
So that's the same thing. It's exactly, I got that from the book. That's my point about that book. Why I loved it so much is I was at the point where, okay, it's all the same and I'm getting burned out. I mean, doing the channel in itself, what I do can burn you out.
It's tough, yeah.
But that book brought me back instantly. Like as soon as I read it, I'm like, okay, I got to read more indies immediately. And they all have different feels, but that one made it fun again. And that's why this talking to you, to me, why it's so important to me and why I was so excited about it is because you did something personally to me that no other comic had done in a very long time. And that's the point. You said it your own way that this is why you guys did it. And it totally makes sense on my end because I felt it. You know what I mean? So whether it's a huge sensation or not, it's so exciting to me. The whole thing, everything about it. I'm super excited. I'm excited for season 2. I got to be honest. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I can't either. I mean, so it's like now I'm sitting on issues that are done, and I'm like, we just got to figure out how to get them out there, and when we're gonna actually make the push. But I really am excited for everyone to read it. I think you'll have a good time with it.
I don't doubt that at all. Well, everybody, we have been talking for quite a long time, and I don't know what else to say. You can go to Exchange Collectible. Here, let me put this up. Let's see here. You can go to Exchange Collectibles right now. If you want the exclusive YouTube exclusive, go for it. Dan did the cover. He's never done one. There it is. He is one of my favorite books of all time. I don't know if you can even track, Jason, where they're at selling wise. Seems like a lot of people got slabbed options, and I don't think there were that many slab options, but I'm excited because I know I'm getting mine. I already know that. And I don't know, man. The whole thing has been months of fun. I look forward to talking to you more. And
yeah, me too.
To come. Check out Touching Evil as well, guys. Jason's got an exclusive, 2 exclusive over there. As well as that Zoo Orzu cover, which is absolutely gorgeous.
That can I quickly just mention how amazing that whole situation played out? Because we had just become friends like months prior to that, and she had drawn. In fact, hey, I'll show you really quick. I have it right here. See my flat file. She when I met her, it was at Dragon Con. It was last September, and I just met her. We tabled next to each other. It was David Mack and Zoo and myself, and then Jill Thompson. So like I was surrounded by incredibly talented people, but we were just BSing, and we became friends. And so I drew a picture of Eeyore as Delirium for her, and she drew this little sketch for me of Touching Evil, and I went, I would love it if one day somehow you could draw a Touching Evil cover. And she was like, oh, that sounds really cool. And then we never talked about it again. Like I didn't bring it up again. She didn't bring it up to me.
Yeah, man.
One day she goes, guess what? Guess what I got asked to do? And then when I found out, I was like, you just made my year. And then when that cover came out, like I was just like, I mean, I almost cried. It was so good.
That is
that was just the comic book universe bringing everything together,
Right?
It's funny because on the interview with Zoo, she's holding the picture you did for her. So that's awesome too.
And what's even funnier is, dude, we were talking about who should we get, and I had saw a picture for another book that we did with Exchange of something Zoo did. I think it was a rejected Black Widow cover or something. Mm. And I said, dude, Jason, check this out. This would be perfect for this other book, right? And so I got in contact with Zoo. Then he talked to her. They figured it all out, and then boom, 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 we got her on the Touching Evil. Is that the weirdest thing? Like
the universe, man.
It's crazy.
It's wild. Like I can't tell you the serendipity on this one. It's so strong.
That's what she said. I had to fit that in somewhere. She also said that.
While I'm showing you art, can I show you one of the first Floppy Cop drawings ever?
Yes.
This is what Seth did.
Oh, wait, hang on.
That's I brought this out special for you guys. I don't show this out often because this is definitely part of the private collection, but this was one of his first cracks at drawing all three of the main characters. And I was like, not floppy enough, but we're getting there.
Dude, his schlong is like...
I know, look at that.
He's
out there.
Not floppy there. Yeah, but you went from half tilt all the way to head hitting the ground.
Yeah.
That's what killed it right there.
Yeah.
It's so funny, but yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I know we could talk forever, but actually my voice hurts. So, again, you guys go check out Exchange Collectibles. They even have the Zoo exclusive still over there for Touching Evil, as well as so many more. The Bloodshot, or is it Rye? The Bloodshot variant is incredible by Zoo, unbelievable. So much stuff going on there. I'm so excited. I'll hit you up, Dan, later.
Yeah.
About Legacy #6. I already have an idea, dude. You know that Wolverine cover where he's like X-rayed and you can see all his bones?
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
We could that might be difficult, but like a Floppy Cop homage to that, where there's like missing bones and shit.
Missing a lot of bones.
I don't know. I'll think of it. I'll think of it. I want that to happen. And I really want to tell you guys two things before I let you go. Jason, I love you, man. I mean, since the beginning, you came to me and you said, I like what you're doing. Can you think of something we could work some out? And dude, it has been a pleasure working with you. And it's taken we've come all the way around full circle, I think, here, where and now we actually have this exclusive, special to me. And Dan, probably my favorite writer in the history of comics. Being able to talk to, I know it's ridiculous, but whatever. Being able to talk to you about it, and being able to hear a little bit of secrets inside about this book, make it even that much better. I'll also be getting the trade, so I can just sit down and I don't want to keep touching my books because I'm a little freaky about it. I want them to be nice. It's just the perfect combination. I consider Dan a new good friend, and Jason, you're one of my best buds. Together, this is one hell of a book, this exclusive in its own right, and it means the world to me. And that's it. I don't know what else to say except thank you guys. Maybe we could answer some questions in the chat. I know we really haven't done that. Oh, Dan's gone. Kick Dan out for a second. How about this? Does anybody have any questions? Let me get rid of this brand thing. I know it's necessary, but I got, it's, if anyone has any extra questions, no, Chad, I was actually thinking Ryan Brown. If anyone has any extra questions that they can answer, go ahead and ask them now in the chat, and we'll get that answered and be done here. But yeah, I think I'm going to get Joseph wants to know all the character names. That'll be easy for you, Dan, just to shoot down the line, I guess.
Oh, sure. I can do this easy. Well, obviously you got Floppy Cop. His real name is Shell Offerman, which if you say fast enough is Shell of a Man. There's Carmen Crimson, who has to go to sensitivity training several times.
I love this.
There's Kyle Cornelius Barnaby, who has a bizarre and almost sexual fetish for pretzels. And then so that's the main. Oh, and then there's Chief Saddlestitch, who keeps making really obscure puns about books and binding because his last name is Saddlestitch. So that's for all like the book nerds out there. But we have a ridiculous rogues gallery. The first one you see is the Slink, who is supposedly this like amazing cat burglar, but he is a total bungling idiot. There's Nickel and Mime. It's mostly the Mime is my favorite. He only talks in empty word balloons, and so Nickel has to sort of translate what he's saying.
I love the book.
And let me think. There's this is one of my favorites. The Third Bird, who is a talking bantam rooster, and his whole motto is they killed 2 of his friends with 1 stone. They should have killed 3. He's the third bird. So I always picture him like in some sort of like Clint Eastwood kind of voice.
Now I can read it. Now I can read it with that voice in my head. That's perfect.
Yeah, you got to get really gravelly with it if you're doing the third bird. Who else is in there? We said the Slink. We said
Muggsy Bogues. Then you got the Coma Chameleon.
Right, Muggsy Bogues, Coma Chameleon, who we explained earlier.
The main villain. What's the name? Crossword.
Crossword's the main villain. So yeah. the whole premise that kind of evolves in the first issue is that they're getting these crossword puzzles mailed to them. The police at White Trickle Falls PD, WTF PD, and these crosswords they realize are clues to these explosions that are happening all over town, and they've got to figure out the crosswords in time or the explosion will happen.
It's like a Riddler, Batman Riddler.
Yeah, very much like a Riddler. Like, but what was super fun was making crossword clues of really dumb stuff and having them try to figure out what it is. And then what was even more fun was that for issue 3, there's 2 crosswords in it. I think it's the cover is a crossword that Jay Fosby actually did all by himself. Like I didn't even give him any of those clues. He's funny as hell. So he made up his own crossword. And then Source Point started putting crosswords in the back of the book with like clues to their other books and like fun little fun facts. So like we really ran with the crossword thing. We're going to do another sort of fake ad thing for the new series. And I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but it's really fun to me. Like playing around with the idea of comics, you know? So yeah, crossword's the main villain, but you have all these other goofy villains that just sort of are peppered throughout the whole series, and it makes for a lot of fun.
Size 9, they have all the books. Jason's got all the books on hand. So another thing is anyone that gets entered in or buys a book is getting entered in. One person out of 169 or even less, because I'm getting a couple bucks, will win.
Yeah. It's really going to be even less. So, because there's some that'll be given away. You know, we're going to give one to Dan. So, I mean, it might be 1 out of 150 or something to get one of these suckers, man. And yeah,
that foil or see, that's crazy.
Metal cover, yeah.
If you order a regular book, size 9, you're going to get it shipped soon. But if it's a slab, if you got the slab, you're going to wait. I mean, it's going to be months for the slab because he's got to send them in.
Yeah.
And you know what's going on now.
CGC is open right now, but any day, you know. So as of you know, Friday they were open, but you know, we'll just see what happens.
If I can say hi to some people who just popped in, Frankie Gonzalez mentioned my very first comic book, Cyclone Bill, and that's a deep cut. So thanks for that shout out. That was cool. And then Jeff Schultz, I live in Tinley Park. I'm about 40 minutes out of the city. So if you're in Forest Park, you're not far from me.
And there's a lot more comments below that for sure.
I'm really starting to see it. Yeah. Oh, that's fun. Oh, and somebody just bought a trade, by the way. So thank you. I think his name's Ron.
Yeah, I'll make sure to do that myself.
No, thanks. I really appreciate it. I promise to give some of that to Seth. Okay, yeah. Yeah, there will be okay. I don't want to say anything about the new book.
Tony said something somewhere. Let me see. Instead of just saying his question again, he said, I put a question in earlier. So, hey, Jason, question for you. How do you decide what title and publisher you are going to offer for exchange collectibles, like criteria?
Can Jason hear it or no?
Yeah, one more time. How do I decide?
Let me see. I gotta find it again. He's just asking you how you pick your books, I guess.
You know, it's because a lot of stuff is coming out. Books that I'm gonna go big on, like this one. You know, I want to read them first. But I try the bigger stuff. There's so many other people competing with that, but you know, we just try and support the publishers as much as we can, and you know, when we think something might have a little heat on it, then that's kind of what we do. Can't do everything. We just got to choose what we like and hope everyone else likes it.
Jason's really good at speculation. That's another thing that me and him have in common. He's very good. He has some access to books that we don't know and see. He checks it out, and sometimes he messages me, "What do you think of this?" or whatever. We kind of, but it's all on Jason. It's about the possibility of it getting hot or not, and even then, we're trying to help out other publishers and artists. So it's kind of all about that. Most of them will be number ones, which is a great thing. Everyone loves number ones, and can debut some artists and stuff like that. But right now, you guys, independent books are the hot commodity. Marvel and DC is fine, but dude, the books that are getting picked up are indies. So we're really, you know, Jason's really looking at that and trying to speculate, you know, the best he can, and offer some good product.
I think that's really cool, that market, by the way. I think you guys are also helping out the indie people as well as, I mean, I think it's cyclical. You know, it's like you doing that adds value to the comic, and then hopefully, like you said, like the comic that you picked has earned a little bit of heat and is worth having these variants. So like, I mean, I'll tell you, like my local shop, Amazing Fantasy Books and Comics in Tinley Park, they have a little section up at the front for all the variants. I know I've seen some, you know, like some really cool stuff in there, and it makes me go, well, what is this comic? You know, and I want to go look around and see, like, oh, is there more of it? Can I get the run of the series? Where are we at with it? So it brings that attention. I think that's really cool you guys do that.
Yes, Carlos, the books will have a little COA numbered. Unfortunately, number 69 is gone. And I think number 1, number 6, and number 100.
69's gone.
I requested a bunch, guys. Of course, I'm going to get number 69.
When you bag it, do you bag it upside down or right side up? Like, how do you put it in there? How do you get it in this?
The upside down bag, Jason.
Yeah, someone can get 96 and flip that over if they want.
That's what you got to do. With it, it'd be like a 69 of a 96. You'd be flipping it. That's perfect. I love it.
Well, either way, just the cover itself is him 69ing. So, yeah, I got Max. I own both 69s, Max. They're mine. So, okay. So this question keeps coming up about signing, and I don't know how difficult this will be, Jason. I know it'd be more expensive, but I think this is what we could do. This is like the easiest way, I think. Order your books. Get them. Send them to me. I know it's going to cost more money, okay? If you're talking about me signing or Dan, I don't know how we would include Dan, but in regard to me, you could send them to me. I can sign them all, and then if you want, we can send it to Tony. I can do one group package sending to Tony at EGS, maybe, and he could do a special color label, something special to the book, maybe a Floppy Cop label with economics or something like that. I can send him all the Tony at once, and then you guys will pay for all that later if you want something like that. Or, but for me, for you to send it directly to me and then me to send it directly to you back, I mean, dude, I might as well. I'm tapping out already. It already sounds like insaneness. It's kind of tough right now because of Corona. We would have got together, I'm sure, me and Jason, and drove halfway each or something, and I could assign a bunch, but I don't know. Signing it alone is kind of weird to me, but I guess we'll have to talk about it more. I would just say get a hold of the book.
Like if you want to include me in that, I'd be happy to do it. I mean, I'm not charging anything, just to be clear. Like me
too.
Yeah, but like
it's the shipping that's the problem.
The shipping, and then I don't said before because I always, I stumble a little bit. I'm not as knowledgeable on the grading and the witnessing part of it. So I don't know if that part of it is if there's some way to get around that.
So Dan, I work with a company called EGS Expert Grading Services. His name's Tony Trombetta. He's a new guy, and he's doing this. He's not well known, but on my channel he is. So he's doing special color labels. Okay. And so he will authenticate. Okay. Mm-hmm. Of course, I could sign and they could send it to CBCS if they wanted. But what would be cool is, and I'm sure Tony would do this, is we might be able to make a special label just for us for the book, right? A Floppy Cop or a sick label or something silly. And then he could authenticate it. But here's the problem. The problem is, come to me, I sign it. Go to you, you sign it. Go to Tony. I mean, we're talking 5 different shipping. Shipping from Jason to them, shipping from Jason to me shipping to you, you shipping it to, I mean, dude, it will be so costly. I almost think don't do it. Like, that's I don't know.
It's tough.
Yeah, we'll just play. I want to try and see if we can talk to CGC's, the certified series signatures people and see what they say. Yeah. Tony's another option, but if we can figure out at least everyone that wants to do something like that, we can at least ship it all together to save a little bit. If we start doing individual shipments, one going all over, then it's going to really cost a fortune.
But here's the other problem, you're going to ship it to me, right? Like say someone requests Billy sign, and you ship me a bunch of books.
Yeah.
Then I sign them all. Then what am I doing? I'm shipping them out to every single person.
Yeah, then it's like
no.
Oh yeah. No, I think only we would do it if it was going to end up going to CGC or Tony. It'd be like it would be one package together. So okay, if we're going to get everyone to sign them, then they'll all go at the end it would go to, Tony or some other grading company or whatever we do, and then that grading company would ship them to all the people after they're done.
Yeah,
I think the only way to do it.
The easiest way to do it would be you send me everyone that requests it, I sign it. And we might as well do a double. We might as well just say, screw it, we're doing a double. Then I take the box and I ship it directly to Dan. Then he signs them all.
Yep.
And then he takes the box and he ships it directly to Tony. I think from EGS. I think that's the only real way that it'll make it's going to be a pain, but it won't be as painful. And we can figure out shipping prices and all that on our own. And then Tony can get them all and make a special label for this special occasion if they really want that. And then Tony can charge everyone for their individual shipping to where it's going, because they're going to be buying his slab thing. I don't know what else. I guess you can send out a mass email to people or something, Jason, everyone that purchased. Do you want this done this way? And maybe we can go from there. I don't know, but I'd love to help people, but
yeah, it's just a tough situation. I mean, I think everyone ultimately understands, though, right? Because we're all in this whole thing together. So, like, it's not like it's only affecting one part of the world. It's everywhere. But like I said, I mean, I'd be happy to do whatever works. I'll
sign for free, and I'm sure Dan said he would.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, do you want Jason? Jason can sign it on the back.
Yeah, whatever they want.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have to figure that. We'll give that a few days and send an email out to everyone or something or something to see what these people are going to want.
Even without the virus, this is going to be a pain in the ass.
And I'll say this too: like if at the back end of the year, cons are back in full swing, I'll be back at shows if that helps people too. I mean, I sign for free at shows, I sign for free wherever, but if you can bring a person out to have it witnessed or however you want to play it, like I'm really just happy people get it. That's all I care about. Can I answer some questions real quick? Because I saw some.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Sure. To Stanibles Universe, yes. I've been going to Cherry Capital Comic-Con for a while, and I was there last year too. Great show. I'm really bummed. I mean, it makes sense that they're postponing until October 30th. But I was there last year. I've been there actually for the probably past 5 years, I think. Thanks, Craig, for getting the trade. Appreciate it. Lisa, I don't know what I said for the Don't Mind Us, but it's cool. SourcePoint, SourcePoint's got it. So Lisa wrote, SourcePoint's site has issues 1 through 5 and the trade up there. All true. It's all up there. For CIS,
SourcePoint's usually pretty good about keeping stuff in their store.
They're great. Yeah, they're even more active right now because their whole team is not out doing shows. So they're basically all hands on deck on the site and doing doing that and pushing auctions and all kinds of comic related stuff. Someone asked about what do I do for commissions. I'm open for commissions right now in case anyone is wondering. You can always message me on Facebook. Just look up my name right there. You'll find me pretty easily. Or you can message me at my website, beardocomics.com. Beardo Comics is all one word. And it just depends on what it is, but I'm usually pretty reasonable. And then thanks for getting issue 1. Oh, Lisa, yeah, that hat's too awesome. I had to draw that hat. That was your first request.
That was all I ended up saying is it's gotta say sick, and I want the hat in there. That's it. I could have done my whole face. No, dude, I want to the hat.
Yeah, no, that was golden. And when I saw the tweaked version with just the hat colored, I was dying. I'm like, this hat is like. Does the hat have a name? Does it have like an actual?
No, it's just some hat, dude. I was wearing beanies for a while, and my fiance, she had this like beanie thing, and I grabbed it, and it's so comfortable, and I could just I wear it out. People look at me. I don't care, dude.
I think it's fun.
It's comfortable. But yeah, it means the world to me that Floppy Cop is rocking the hat, dude. You guys no idea. And that black and white, I've never seen a black and white like it before, because it's almost gray, and that's dope, dude. You don't see that gray ever. I mean, maybe once or twice, but that's one hell of a black and white with a little color splash. You can't beat that, dude. But yeah, had to be Spider-Man 300 for the first, because that's my type of deal. Anyway, look, we've been on for way too long. I'm so excited. If you guys, they're going to sell out. Everyone's been asking. If you didn't get one and you want one, get one, signed or not, whatever. We'll figure it out. But this is a one-time thing, and maybe we'll do a Legacy number 6. We'll work on that together, because I think that would be really cool, because it's number 6.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say except thank you guys, both you guys, so much. You are making my dreams come true, and that just means everything to me. So that's the best of all worlds right here on this video. So thanks again. I don't know what else to say. If that's it, guys.
I think it's great. I mean, we could always. Here's the thing. I'd love to come back on again sometime. You know.
Yeah, we could talk Touching Evil next time, or the new release of the other book.
Anything you want. It's fun. This is a lot of fun. I had a blast.
I would like to get you and Zoo on at the same time.
Oh, yes.
Wouldn't that be
great? Yeah, that'd be sweet.
What if we got Zoo to do some sort of weird homage for Floppy 6? That would be the weirdest crossover ever, dude.
Hey, anything you want to do, you do that.
I don't know how to do that, but that would be like the ultimate double circle, infinity double, you know. Be really weird. The world might blow up. I don't know.
I think it's great. But yeah, I'd love to come back on, and this was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you so much. All right, you guys, you know where to go. Jason, Dan, thank you so much. Hang on, I'm going to do the outro. Thank you. We had a consistent 50-plus people in there for an hour and a half. That is pretty amazing for most videos.
Sick, man.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and close this out. Stay with me for a second, guys, and we'll be right back. Or we're over, but you guys stay with me. Okay. Later. Are you ready for the sickness?